Man, generosity has affected my life so much. When you grow up in a city like Baltimore, where Maryland, the home of the crab, has conditioned so many people's minds to think that somebody's always trying to take something from them, always somebody's always trying to get them. And I grew up that way, and I lived that way for a very long time. Even after people that I've grown up with and played basketball with, and red light, green light, and I've been robbed by those same people. I've been held at gunpoint. Um, and it's just that's just the type of city that Baltimore has been. I mean, and it's all subjective and perspective. There's people in Baltimore right now that may never ever experience that, but that was the life that I had, that I experienced. And now on this side of personal development, of growth, of deliverance, of healing, and so many other things that God has blessed me with, generosity is everything to me. Receiving is connected to giving. And although I lived a selfish life for a very long time, I think now, being a very generous person, I believe everything that I do that is connected to generosity is the reason that I live the life that I live now. Just living with an open hand. I cannot focus on taking and receiving without acknowledging the fact that anything that I receive is connected to something that I've given. Marriage for me was the biggest mirror of selfishness, of making decisions that were only in favor of me, not in the greater good of being a leader of and guiding and directing my household. Not saying that the decisions that I make of generosity are always about giving, because as a leader, sometimes I make tough decisions. Like, my wife doesn't always agree with every single thing, even if it's in the best interest of our entire family. Sometimes, we both get the only child syndrome. I have an older sister, but my wife doesn't have any siblings, and she's always made decisions for herself. And then me being 7 years younger than my sister, I've always made decisions for myself. And when you put two people like that together, at sometimes we'll butt heads, right? But I think over time, with us being together almost 10 years now, we've been able to collectively look at each other and say, you know what? What's best for us? And her being able to look at me and say, you know what? If you think this is the best for our family, let's go. And that has come over time. It was never a thing where it was just like, oh, we're married, we got it. No, it was like, well, shoot, you do what you do, I'm gonna do what I do, and we're gonna find out where we meet at. And that got us nowhere. If I could think of a time that I shifted from being scared of being taken advantage of to not, I would probably say when me and my wife were separated at one time, and it was the very underlying issues of a lack of self-awareness of me even being scared. Because anytime that I've ever gotten to a point where I've been fed up with anything, it's because my expectations weren't met. And when my expectations aren't met, especially when it comes to generosity, like, I hate selfishness now. Like, I literally hate it. Like, when I see somebody being selfish, and it's so simple to me now in this position, it's so simple. Just like, hey, just let go of the thing, because there's no shortage of whatever it is that people are holding on to. Like, it took so much time for me to get there. Like, when I see that, it bothers me. But that's who I was for so long, because I've always thought that somebody would take advantage of me. But when we got separated, and I started to really hold that mirror up in my face, and I started to realize that, like, man, the decisions, like, I'm here because of selfishness, because what I want. Like, it's not about our marriage getting better. It's like, my expectations aren't met, and I'm angry. I'm upset. Was it all selfishness? No, but a lot of it in reality was selfishness. And then as I started to realize, like, hey, like, the things that I want the most, what if I just gave it? Like, if I stop holding on to it, like, I heard this quote. It was this. I don't know if it was a book that I read or a speaker that I heard. And he said, like, money is like trying to squeeze sand or water in your hand. The tighter you squeeze it, the easier it is for you to lose it. And that stuck with me for so long with anything. Like, the more I try to control my wife, the tighter I squeeze and try to control everything, the easier it is for me to lose it. And do I want control in a lot of things? I want to control my environment? Sure. Do I want to be able to have and direct things the way that I want them to go? Sure. I'm a control freak. 100%, because I want to eliminate all the variables of poverty, all the variables of anything that is not advantageous to my family. I want to be able to control those things. But I understand I can't. So when it comes to generosity, when it comes to scarcity, when it comes to any of those things, like I can only control what I can control. And the things that I can't make somebody do what I want them to do. I can't make buyers or sellers buy. I can't make my wife do everything that I want her to do. I can't control those things. What I can control is what I can control, and everything else will play itself out. I have a hand that I have to play with the cards that God has dealt me, period. And when I play the game of generosity, I win more times than I lose. If this episode has been helpful for you, feel free to share it with somebody. For my people on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, drop a comment. On my audio listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Drop those reviews and those comments as well. And as always, stay devoted to your development, but don't let us be more devoted than you are to your own development. I'll see you on the next episode of 7 Minutes with Sam.